Why, hello there. You were expecting intros that are good? Please. You want the tech news. I want the tech news. You want the tech news. Tech news is that way. Let's go. Hey guys, just want to remind you that I stream on Twitch every Tuesday and Friday. If you want to ask questions or you're curious why I chose what I did and need help with anything PC or audio or tech related things, make sure to click that link below, come hang out, and I'll see you guys then. Now we're actually getting into the tech news. First one up is going to be a leaked date for Intel Rocket Lake's release. We're potentially going to be seeing it much sooner than we had anticipated. Possibly release date of March 15th. So hopefully we'll see it soon. Hopefully we won't be seeing some IPC improvements. We'll be able to see official benchmarks, see how it actually stacks up against its competitor AMD with all these new processors coming out. And with the shortages, maybe this will bring Intel coming roaring back. Possibly, possibly not, who knows? However, one thing that might actually bring Intel back to the forefront of the fight is going to be Alder Lake. So we're going to see them finally working on 10 nanometer using a big little architecture on Alder Lake, which is potentially going to have up to a 20% IPC improvement again, but this time over Tiger Lake, not over Coffee Lake. So hopefully, we'll finally see some good 10 nanometer action. Curious to see how this hybrid architecture is going to go. Let me know what your thoughts down below. All right, topic number 2, we have AMD Ryzen. Here's the thing that's going to be a little interesting about it, is that we have an SI power GPU in particular claiming that the failure rates are much higher for Ryzen 5000 and the B550 and X570 motherboards than what they should be. Now, the tolerances should be fractional of a percent, maybe 2% is ideal. I mean, ideal would be 0%, but welcome to reality. Nothing's going to be a 0% chance of failure. Power GPU is experiencing about a 6% chance of failure with his Ryzen 5000 CPUs, which piqued some people's curiosity. Does that mean that they have a decent chance of getting a bad CPU or a bad motherboard? Unknown. So, PC World, along with a few other publishers, Hot Hardware, Kit Guru, Overclock 3D, and Hardware Unboxed, all 5 of them ended up doing their own research trying to figure out, is this claim actually true? Some of them ended up reaching out to system integrators, some of them reached out to OEMs, other ones ended up reaching out to retailers, all to see what their failure rates were concurrently and or their RMA rates. And for the most part, it kind of seemed that all of them independently seemed to have come to the same conclusion, that they were all within their correct tolerances of not only them showing up and passing AMD specification, but their own specification too, which can be even tighter depending on the company. So we do know that AMD reached out to Power GPU to figure out what's going on, what's happening with this huge percentage of AMD product that isn't working correctly. So good on AMD for reaching out. Like seeing companies do that, but it is curious to see why is that the case. But if you're worried about is your B550 motherboard, X570 motherboard, or Ryzen 5000 CPU, is it a gamble? Not more than usual, honestly. So I wouldn't stress about it. So you can rest easy. If you find one and you want to pick one up, go ahead and grab it. Speaking of AMD, we have our third topic, and that's going to be talking about AMD GPUs that are coming up. AMD might be responding to NVIDIA's 3060 launch that's coming very soon with the RX 6700 XT, which should be around March 18th. So I'll give them a little bit of playroom to potentially tweak some things, maybe some drivers to improve performance, or give you a better price to performance option and drop the price potentially like they've done in the past. So who knows? Be interesting to see. For those who can't quite remember, what's the rumored spec for 6700 XT? Don't worry, I got you. Let me read it off for you. So 6700 XT is going to be a Navi 22 XT, 40 CUs, 2560 stream processors, 12 gigabytes of VRAM with a 192-bit bus, and it's going to be coming in at TDP around 200 watts, give or take, depending on the AIB or if it's the reference model. In this case, we're unsure if the AIB partner models and the reference model are going to be releasing concurrently, or if they're going to be releasing separately like they've done in the past. So that's another thing to keep an eye out for. If you're concerned about wattage on your power supply, maybe stick with the reference stuff, so staying closer to that TDP, because the AIB ones, especially with the factory overclocks, can potentially pull a lot more power. I am curious to see what they'll end up doing to counter NVIDIA's 3060 launch that is coming soon. And you didn't think we were actually done with AMD GPU news, now did you? Guess what? We have a new model for you that's a 6900 XT, and it's going to be topic number 4. Sapphire ended up releasing a new flagship, so it's aimed at more of the higher end consumer slash workstation slash overclocker, definitely more overclocker oriented. They haven't released this model in a while, so this is an older series. It's called the Toxic. And the Toxic will definitely push out some amazing clocks. It was rocking a 360 AIO, not a 120, not a 240, big honking 360 rad. It's massive, much larger than a lot of other GPU models on both sides of the camp, both green team and red team. A lot of them are sticking with 120s and 240s. This is another step up. So it's really cool to see them taking this and running with it. It's already listed on Newegg if you want to go give it a look. The MSRP is about $1,500, but current list price seems to be in that $1,600 range, which kind of makes sense, honestly. You're paying a premium for that AIO feature, so you can, and also for the better VBIOS and a few other knickknacks, you know, RGB, and honestly bragging rights at this point too, because you have one of the top tiers and binning too. If you're looking for a 6900 XT and you want the creme de crop, that might be one of your better bets. Besides, then you can also mount this one vertically too, because actually, you know, can stay cool, and like the other ones, when you mount them vertically, doesn't work so well. If you want to understand why, come join me on Twitch. I'll explain it for you. And our last topic for the day is one from NVIDIA. This is going to be about an interesting decision that they've made. This one is they're doing 2 parts to potentially counter miners buying up all the GTX, RTX cards. And that is, number 1, for the new RTX 3060 that is releasing very soon, or it might be released by the time you're watching this video. It's going to potentially have the mining output at a BIOS level, sort of. They claim that it's not hackable, the code can't be cracked or whatever. I'm calling shenanigans. Let me know down below if you think that it'll get cracked in like less than a year. But the other thing that they're going to be doing is releasing the CMP HX series. So they're releasing 4 models. It's going to be the HX30, 40HX, 50HX, and 90HX. Those are going to be dedicated mining cards to help offset the demand that the miners are putting on the GeForce series cards. Hopefully they'll help out with that. Now, whether they'll be cheaper than the GeForce cards is unknown. So hopefully they are coming in at a good price point, so the miner's ROI is better than it is for the GeForce cards, so we can actually have some again. That'd be rather nice. We will see how long this will last. It's not the first time NVIDIA has released mining cards before. If you're curious, they've done it in the past with Pascal. They did it with Pascal with like a 1060S card. It was very quietly introduced and it was very quietly shut down, but this one is kind of more loud and clear. They're actually releasing it and releasing it through their AIBs as well. So we have Asus, EVGA, Colorful, and a couple of others that are going to be releasing cards of this manner as well. Fingers crossed, hopefully this fixes the problem at least somewhat. Hopeful, but also pessimistic at the same time. Let me know down below if you think it's going to work. Hopefully it will. And that's it for your weekly recap. That was your 5 topics of the things you need to know. If you're ever curious, once again, of why I chose what I did, you want to hang out, you can join me on Twitch every Tuesday and Friday. Link will be down below, along with other socials if you want to get a hold of me that way, or just stay up to date with what's going on. And that does it for this video. Have a blessed day or night wherever you guys are, and I'll see you in the next piece of content. I just blanked. Arrow 404'd. God dang it. Sell out. Also merch. Yay. Boom, it's my first. Let's go. That way. What? Right, I need to go that way.